I'm a Mets fan. Josh, you're a Yankees fan. And naturally, we said, let's bring in a Dodgers fan.
Yeah, we love feeling pain, I guess.
I'm a little bit bummed you guys couldn't find a Padres fan to come on so I can heckle all you at once.
Maybe it'll be cathartic.
Welcome to Ordinary Effort, where a bunch of random fans get some random baseball players and try not to biff the grid. I'm Mike. I'm here with my buddy Josh. We're looking at Immaculate Grid 413, and we lined up a really special guest for this episode. I'm a Mets fan. Josh, you're a Yankees fan. And naturally, after this playoffs, we said, let's bring in a Dodgers fan.
Yeah, we love feeling pain, I guess. And this is exciting and maybe it'll be cathartic. I don't know. But Jeff Snider is the host of Locked On Dodgers. I gotta say, even as a Yankees fan, incredible show. The whole Locked On network is a ton of fun if you don't already check it out. Jeff was introduced to us through the 1988 Topps guys, just mentioned on Twitter. You gotta check out Jeff. So we did. At the time of recording this, we can also confidently say when we release this, Jeff's Dodgers are the champions. So we'll pick his brain about that. But I guess let's bring him on. Jeff, thanks for doing this.
Hey, happy to do it. I'm a little bit bummed you guys couldn't find a Padres fan to come on so I can heckle all you at once. But you know what? I'll take what I can get.
I mean, with that, we obviously picked a grid with the Dodgers. So maybe we'll jump in for those listening. On the left, we've got Mariners, Dodgers, Cardinals going across. We've got A's, Giants, Nats, which of course can be Expos too. Jeff, you're the guest. Why don't you pick out a box and we'll jump in.
Okay. When I there's so many I love the Nationals category because I do like jumping back to Expos a
Yeah.
little bit. It makes it a little more fun. My first year collecting baseball cards was 1984, and so my brain always
Mhm.
goes to 1984, and so obviously that was the Expos, not the Nats, and so I start thinking about guys from those early to mid 80s teams who played for both the Dodgers and the Expos, and a couple jump to mind. I think my my favorite one is probably either Mike Vale or Jose Morales. Two guys just when I do the grid, it's like, okay, who's some obscure guy who played for the Dodgers? And unfortunately, some of them, like Ed Amelung, only played for the Dodgers.
Mhm.
Jock Peterson's dad only played for the Dodgers. Those guys don't do great on the grid, but Mike Vale and Jose Morales are both good ones for me because they played for the Dodgers and played for a bunch of other teams too, including for both of them, the Expos.
Yeah.
I love going back to the Expos for these boxes if I can. Like obviously, I mean, you got Pedro Martinez here, but I think that's if we're going for the lower rarity score, which we try to do, that's a little too obvious.
You could do the more painful one and go with Delino to Shields, who the Dodgers traded
Right,
Pedro
Delano to
Martinez for.
Shields. I
Yeah.
mean, more currently, you've got Scherzer, Trey Turner, Keibert Ruiz. I think how many he only played like a couple of games with the Dodgers, right? Before he got
Uh,
traded.
More than a couple, but yeah, I know he hit his first home run during the 2020 season with nobody in the stands at
Hmm.
Angel Stadium for the
Mm.
Dodgers. But then and then it was what mid 2021 that he got traded. So I'd have to look, but I guess he played probably 20 or 30 games for the Dodgers.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah, I knew it was not many.
You've
And
also
I
got
think
Joey Gallo, but I don't
hmm,
think that's not going to compete with some of these 80s guys, but worth mentioning.
Daniel Hudson works here too. I think he pitched for the Nats,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, he
And
did. He won a World Series with the Nats.
yeah, and
Mm.
then the only other one, like going back to Expos that I can think of off the top right now is Mark Grudzielanek. I think works here.
Yeah,
He had a,
Grudzielanek definitely works, or as Vin Scully called him, Mark Grasolonic.
but I mean, I think Grudzielanek fits another box here, so I'm good
Oh,
with going one of,
Cardinals. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I'm good with going with one of your guys, Jeff.
Okay. I vote Jose Morales.
Jose
Yeah,
Morales.
let's do it.
Okay, no, there's
It would
two.
be that bottom
It would be
one.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Jose Morales, 0.06
Nice.
percent hidden gem.
and that
Oh,
Beautiful.
I might have
Expos
saved the
hat is
best for
just
first.
yeah, yeah. I love that Expos hat, the helmet too. Like that's just perfect. Perfect way to start. Yeah, all right. Let's keep it going. You want to stick Dodgers road? You want to up to you, Jeff.
Um, Yeah, I mean, I figured we might as well do the Dodgers row first,
Let's do
right?
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dodgers Giants is a fun one. There's a few. There's Candy Maldonado. There's
Mm.
maybe the best one is Terry Whitfield, because Terry Whitfield was a star in Japan, but a nothing in the big leagues. But I'm almost positive he played for both the Dodgers and the Giants.
Mm.
Um, and then there's guys like Oral Hershiser and Brett Butler, and there's a ton of Jeff Kent. A ton of guys played for
Yeah.
both the Dodgers and Giants. Even Juan Marichal, if we want to go back that far. There's, but yeah, I'd be inclined to go with Terry Whitfield for the rarity score.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I was gonna
So-
say, what was he yeah, what more you said he played
Hey, he was on the
overseas
Dodgers
or
in 1983. This is 84
okay.
tops. That's
That's all
why.
that matters.
That's what I think
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
He was, me, a dumb 8-year-old. I got Terry Whitfield and Dave Winfield mixed up because their names were
Yeah.
similar. So,
Uh,
it's kind of like,
Yeah.
then you grow up like, oh, they were nothing alike. But,
Yeah.
for me, it's, yeah, I remember seeing, I think he was on the Giants early in his career. And I remember later finding like a 1978 Topps card or something of Terry Whitfield on the Giants. I'm like, I didn't even know he played that long. He was always to me he played a year or two with the Dodgers, just kind of one of those obscure Dodgers. Like, oh, he had a career before the Dodgers too.
Mm,
The only
I
other
like it.
name, yeah, I'm good with that. I was thinking, my mind always goes to Jason Schmidt on his box for some reason. Like that's the
He
first one that comes to mind.
he
But
did play like 9 games during his 4-year
Mm.
contract with the Dodgers.
yeah,
Oh man.
it's better than Jed Lowry on the Mets. So
Uh,
Yeah.
his 7 at bats. All right, so Terry Whitfield.
yep,
Yeah.
right
The
there.
years match
Let's
up
do it.
there.
0.1%
Nice.
hidden
Okay,
gem.
that's awesome.
It's
It's
actually a little higher than I was
downhill from
expecting it
Jose
to.
Morales.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when you start with a .06, it's hard to match. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a pretty good one too, though. Let's see if we can close it out. We could get a triple play here. Jeff, just your first time on, we call anything under 1% a hidden gem, and
Okay.
3 hidden gems in a row is a triple play. So you do have a chance to score one here.
Oh, so there's pressure here.
There's a little
No,
Um,
not at
pressure.
all.
the the there's so many obvious ones for this, because that 88 Dodgers team had a ton of, like, the Dodgers A's World Series in 88 had a ton of guys who played for both teams: Dave Stewart, Bob Welch, Jay Howell, Mike Davis, Alfredo Griffin, ton of those guys. Rick Monday is an obvious one. The first player ever taken in a draft. The A's took him with the first draft pick of the first draft, and now later he played for the Dodgers. He's now a Dodgers announcer. I would suspect Rick Monday is not going to get us the score we're looking for, and I don't know if any of those guys are actually. I'm
Hmm.
trying to think of somebody from the a little bit earlier time who might get us a better score.
The
I,
guy,
Go
I'll go
ahead.
for it. Well, the guy I always use on the grid whenever I see Dodgers is Mike Morgan,
Hmm.
because he played for a ton of teams. He did play for the Dodgers and the A's for sure. I think he was a reliever for the Dodgers, but Oakland is like one of the 10 teams or so that he passed through. He usually gets like 1% or less depending on the box, so it's an option, but
Yeah, that's not a bad option.
I think Brandon McCarthy works here too.
Yeah,
Mm,
yeah, he did pitch for the A's, huh?
Yeah. I think 1 or 2 seasons, I want to say, but I,
Actually, I
yeah.
watched him pitch for the A's. Actually, I think in person. Um,
This is one of those boxes that the people on Twitter would just go crazy with, like a Philadelphia Athletic and a Brooklyn Dodger, and I just to call
yeah,
out that's just not
yeah.
my knowledge base. So
yeah, those ones
I'm
are
not
hard
gonna
going
be
going
that
back
guy.
that far.
So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, actually, Mike Piazza works here, but I think that's way too on the nose for
Um,
Dodgers at least. But he
Yeah,
did
for
play with
Dod
Oakland at
although
the end.
yeah, if it was Dodgers Padres, I think more people would forget that Piazza played for the Padres.
Mm.
Um,
People are starting to catch on. I've used Piazza on those like the Padres, A's.
I never use a Hall of Famer on the grid. It's just,
Yeah,
yeah,
too many
yeah,
it's
people are going to
true.
get it.
yeah.
Um, so I'm trying to think of the ones from that 88 team who would be the uh most obscure, like Mike Davis. He was the guy who was on base when Kirk Gibson hit his home run. He had just come over from the A's the year before.
Mm.
Um, Rick Honeycutt was on the A's
Oh,
that year.
actually, Brent Honeywell. We were just talking about him either at the top of the
Interesting.
recording or
Did
before.
Hun-
Brent Honeywell pitched for Oakland.
Did he?
He
Mm.
did. He bounced because I know he came up with Tampa and he had multiple injuries over several years. Because he's like the screwball pitcher, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, he was like this big prospect for Tampa, and I think he eventually came up with Tampa, but then he bounced around, and I believe he spent a little bit of time in Oakland. It might have been in 2024, actually. It was I
Mm.
think I want to say 2023 or 2024 before going to the Dodgers. I think he works here.
Interesting. Huh.
Yeah, I
I
like that. Or I think you mentioned was it Mike Davis you said was on base with Kirk Gibson? I mean, we try to highlight some good stories. That's a good little tidbit there. Yeah, hard to say which score is better there.
yeah. Um and I'm just
Hmm.
trying, I can't think of, I'd probably be inclined to go with Mike Davis. I'm guessing it's like a, but what's your cutoff for making it a
We put
triple
some
play, whatever
pressure
you
on
called
you.
it?
I mean,
Under 1%.
we
Under
try to go.
1%?
I mean, you could score a
Eh,
triple play here,
I'm
Josh.
gonna
I
guess
know.
Mike Davis is a 1.2, but
Oh
you know,
man.
I could be wrong. I'm
Let's find out.
Let's go Mike
It's worth it.
Davis.
I
Go
think
with
it's
Mike
worth
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Davis.
Yeah.
All right.
That top one.
2%.
Okay.
All
You
right.
know
Ah,
what? I bet he was a 1.2 and they rounded it up or something. Unreal, but
All right.
that's still a great performance there. So,
yeah.
um, all right, we can go anywhere now. I mean,
Well, we might as
Mike,
well go to the
yeah,
top right and do Mark
I was
Gredzalonic,
going to
right?
say, you want to throw Gredzalonic
yeah.
here, or I'm trying to think, is there anybody else for Cardinals
Just
Nationals? Gredzalonic
Cardinals.
is
Hmm.
the one we talked about. Sorry, what were
Did
you saying?
did who's that guy shortstop uh played for the Red Sox in 2004? What was his name?
Oh,
Oh,
just watched that documentary. I think I know who you're
Was it
talking
Orlando
about.
Hudson?
Orlando
That's it.
Cabrera.
Yeah.
Oh,
Orlando
Orlando
Cabrera.
Cabrera.
Yeah.
Getting
Yeah, I
my
think
yeah.
he played for both the Cardinals and the Expos, didn't he?
Oh, that could be a good
Ooh.
one.
Are we allowed to look and check
Mm,
ourselves?
we don't
We
That's
usually don't. We
until
usually
that's how
after.
don't.
we
Yeah.
shouldn't. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Trying
because
to
It's
keep
I
so
ourselves honest.
tempting. It's so
so
It's
tempting.
very
I'm
Yeah.
tempting.
I'm
Yeah.
positive he played for the Expos, and I feel like he played for the Cardinals later. There's
Mm.
some Cardinals fan listening to this, like, of course you played for the
He's
Cardinals, you
screaming at
idiots.
the yeah,
Yeah,
screaming at
Yeah.
the
that's what we
screen
get
there.
for
Yeah.
being idiots, you know.
Yeah.
Uh,
Two good ones there, Grudzielanek or Cabrera. I think if Cabrera played, he probably scores a little bit better, but it's a risk.
yeah, Grzelcyk we're sure of.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there's somebody else who I'm trying to flash back to my 80s cards of guys who uh,
I mean, one thing we try to do sometimes is like go kind of position by position, like around the
Yeah.
horn, and think like, okay, do any first baseman come to mind? Do any
yeah,
second baseman come to mind? That doesn't always work though. So
yeah. Um,
I don't know why this name comes to mind. I know he's a Cardinal, but Ray Langford, he never played for the
I don't
Expos, did
think
he?
he
Was he
played
kind
for
of
the
a
Expos or
Cardinal?
Nats. He played for the yeah, and my problem is I get Ray Langford and Bernard Gilkey mixed up, so I almost said the Mets, but
Oh,
that was Gilkey. Um,
yeah.
yeah.
but I don't. Larry
No.
Walker played for both teams. Delano DeShields might have played for the Cardinals too, actually.
Ooh,
Um,
Mm.
you might be right.
um,
Hmm.
Expos.
It's a tough one.
Man, yeah, there's a lot that like I'm like there's like Bryn Smith was a pitcher for the Expos, and I feel like I can maybe picture him in a Cardinals uniform too, but I don't.
Mm.
So after we pick one, then I can look and see if Bryn Smith played for both and what I missed, right? Um, ah,
We'll
I,
check the summary at the end.
yeah,
We'll
I
definitely
wish I was
fact
more.
check us.
I wish I was more sure about Orlando Cabrera because
Yeah.
That is tempting. I mean, I know Gredzalonic does work here, and
yeah,
I don't think he played too long for the Cardinals. Like
Yeah.
he's was in Montreal for a while, but then I want to say like it was towards the end of his career that he was in St. Louis, and I don't think it was very long. I think he went to like it was St. Louis, the Dodgers, and I think the Royals Um,
Let's do Grizzlonic, I think.
you want to do Grizzlonic?
Yeah, I think yeah.
All
You can
right,
get the yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
Mark Grizzlonic, 1%.
Hey,
Okay, all
1%.
right.
That's
Okay.
good.
That's not
Wow.
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
that's where you get in like your blind spot or whatever. You're like, well,
Yeah.
obviously everybody's going to think of Mark Grudzielanek, and you're
Yeah.
like, oh no,
Yeah.
turns out not everybody.
I'll tell you,
Yeah, for sure.
midnight tonight, seven more names will come to mind. And I'll be like, come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right,
We could
I know who I want to go with for Cardinals Giants.
let's do
Okay.
it.
We can still have a conversation, but the answer is Darryl Green, who's
Oh.
another guy who Cardinals in the early '80s when I was collecting baseball cards, and then later I saw a baseball card of him also on the Giants. I'm like, oh, he played for both teams. Two L's, yeah, Green.
Is it one R?
Hmm.
Is his name not Daryl?
Oh
No,
no.
it is. Type in Green. Let's see what we got.
Hmm.
Oh wow. We we have not had this
David
happen
Green.
before.
David Green. Sorry.
Okay,
David
okay,
Green.
okay.
All right.
Okay.
David Green. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
This happens to us. Yeah.
Daryl, David, it's
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I was gonna not queue up Edgar Renteria, but I know Renteria fits
Sure,
here.
yeah.
yeah.
Carlos
Hey,
Beltran fits here.
Beltran.
if Orlando Cabrera played for the Cardinals, he fits here too, but I still don't know if he played for the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Probably
Brandon Crawford.
I was just gonna say Crawford is probably like a really common one here, but
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, David Green, 6-year career in the 80s. I think that's the way to go.
Yeah. David Green has gotten me good scores in the past.
Let's do it.
Nice. Yeah.
David Green, 0.4% hidden
Yeah,
gem.
nice.
Not
Yeah.
bad.
All
That's
right.
an 80s headshot I've ever seen
Yeah.
one. So, yeah.
Uh,
Got the mutton chops and everything.
Yeah, right.
All right. Do we want to
Um,
finish out this row here? Cardinals A's?
might as well.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. The obvious one is Dodger fans remember Willie McGee very well.
Hmm.
And specifically him playing for the A's and the Cardinals because in 1991, Eddie Murray led the major leagues in batting average, but did not win a batting title
Oh.
because Willie McGee was leading the National League in batting average with the Cardinals, already had more than 502 plate appearances, and then he got traded to the A's where he didn't play as well. So his overall batting average went down, but his National League batting average was
Hmm.
Oh,
still high
wow.
enough that he won the National League batting title, even though Eddie Murray finished with the higher batting average than him because McGee's
Wow.
National League batting average was higher.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
Dodgers writer named Eric Steven whose favorite player was Eddie Murray, and uh, I hope he. In fact, I'm going to make sure he watches or listens to this episode just so that it can make him sad all over again about
Oh, well, I
Yeah.
Eddie
mean,
Murray
now I
being
feel like we
robbed.
have to put him on the grid here.
Yeah.
But Willie McGee's
I'm
going to be a huge score.
Yeah,
He's
well, that's true. Yeah.
because
the
we've got a
probably
chance
the
for
like oh, I was just gonna say the real obvious one is McGuire, right? Like to
yeah
call
Uh,
out, and then Isringhausen, right? Works here, I
Jason
think.
yeah. Ooh,
Isringhausen.
I like that one. Stephen Piscotty comes to mind often with this box for
Yeah,
me, but I don't
yeah.
love that one. I think I've put him before, and it's not the lowest rarity. I like Isringhausen though, because I
Did
forgot that he played for Oakland.
did Eric Chavez ever play for the Cardinals or just I mean he played for the A's and the
And the
Yankees,
D-backs.
D-backs.
I,
Maybe
I
I'm
watched
mixing
Eric
him
Chavez
up.
break up a perfect game with
Mhm.
2 outs in the ninth inning for the D-backs. I
Oh
was there
wow.
at the Giants D-backs game in person. Yusmeiro Petit had a perfect game going, and then Chavez dunked in a single to right field that Hunter Pence came within inches of catching to break up the perfect game in the no-hitter. And
Oh
then
man.
Petit got the next guy out, ended up only threw like 86 pitches in the whole game. It was crazy, but
Man. This episode, I feel like I'm like the guy in volleyball who serves up the ball for someone else to spike it. So I mean, but I don't know
say a
why
name, I'll tell you a story.
I'm also thinking about Mike Matheny. I've thrown him on the grid before, but I don't know if he played for the. I know he played for the Cardinals. I don't know about the A's, so it doesn't really help.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I'm trying to think 80s
Um,
guys who some of those other
hmm.
just picturing some A's like you mentioned Mike Morgan. Did he pitch for the Cardinals?
I was wondering that. I don't think so. He might work
They're the
for
one team he didn't play
A's
for.
Mariners, right? Yeah,
He
yeah,
definitely works for A's Mariners for sure. So does
yeah.
Mike Moore, who's the same person as Mike Morgan. Uh,
Um, yeah.
hmm. Yeah,
this
if
is
we
going
don't care
to.
about rarity score, we could go with Willie McGee just for
It's a
the
good story.
story.
It is a good story. I think Irzinghausen will definitely be the lower rarity score. If we're
Hmm.
like confident about two names, it seems that those are up there. Um,
Yeah, I mean, you got to figure, I would think at least 30 to 40% put McGuire is my guess.
it's true.
So you figure like with that, maybe Willie McGee is the next common. Piscotty's probably in like the tens. I mean, this is just me guessing. I don't
Ooh,
actually know,
wait,
but
wait. I think I just got a good one for us. I'm There's a guy who pitched for the A's, uh, 84 tops, and I remember discovering like I think of him as an A because that was my first baseball card of him, and I remember discovering later that he hardly pitched for the A's at all, pitched for a lot of teams. What was his name? Not Jim Bibby, same person as Jim Bibby. My brother would be yelling at me. He and I play this same person game, and because we grew up in the same era, we have our brains work the same. Ray Burris. I'm almost
Ray
positive that
Burris.
Ray Burris also pitched for the Card. I know for sure he pitched for the A's, and I'm almost positive that later he pitched for the Cardinals. Um,
I mean, this is where I would say let's
oh,
go for the risk. I mean, like,
because he'll definitely get us a good score if he's right.
yeah,
I'm more confident about him than I was about Orlando Cabrera.
Mm.
I am
give us a
uh,
percentage. How
uh,
confident you feel.
I'm 86% sure Ray Burris pitched
Okay.
for the
That is
Cardinals.
very specific.
That's pretty good, honestly. Like I put
Yeah,
guesses
you
on
asked me
when
for a
I'm like,
percentage. I'm giving you a
Yeah,
percentage.
yeah.
sometimes I'm 8.6% sure and I throw it
Yeah.
on there, but
I'm
I,
at like a 0.86 on it. I don't.
yeah. I would say
So,
we should throw Ray on there because I mean like
yeah.
what else are we
It's
trying to
worth the
do
shot.
here? Like
Like
it's worth
these are
worth
low
the
stakes,
guess.
right? It's not like
Yeah,
this
low
is the
stakes.
nuclear
Yeah.
codes.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it won't keep me up at night if we miss this. Ray
Yeah.
Burris, oh,
Okay, see? There we
0.04%
go.
hidden gem.
Boom. Now we know he played for the Cubs too, just FYI.
Yeah.
Cubs is the easy one. He started his career, played
Okay.
like 6 or 8 years with the Cubs.
Okay. Nice. That's a new
Oh,
name for me. That was worth
yeah.
it. Nicely done.
Oh,
So
that was worth it.
triple play is back on the
It's
table because we've
true.
now got
Yeah.
two in a row here. Where do we want to
Hmm.
go?
And you mentioned
Mariners.
Mike Moore for Mariners A's. I don't think Mike Morgan will be a hidden gem here. I think, but he fits.
So there's a couple guys for me that come to mind here. I think that Sergio Romo fits here, and I would imagine that if people are going to put
Hmm,
Romo, they're more likely to put him for the Giants. Or, I mean, obviously, I think he's most commonly associated with the Giants because of the World Series teams, right? But I
yeah.
believe he pitched for Oakland, and I'm pretty sure he pitched a year in Seattle.
And I don't remember either of those. I know he went to the Dodgers, and that's all I remember about Sergio Romo after the Giants. So I
Yeah.
There's another guy, and this is one of those names I don't know why he sticks in my head, other than it's just I guess it's a little it's not a common name like that you would hear. It's not like a, John Smith or anything like that. Um, I think he may have played for the Dodgers too. I want to say Dodgers, Tigers, Mariners, A's, and I think there's a fifth team, and I think it was West Coast. Hiram Boca Chica.
Oh.
yeah, he
And
huh.
the reason I think he fits here is just because when I started doing grid and I just started trying to dig into my brain for like the most obscure names, he's one that popped up and I looked him up like a while back and I remember he was like heavily West Coast and then I
Hmm.
think Detroit. And I think he fits here. And I don't
Yeah.
think he'll be a high percentage.
We could, yeah, Hiram Bukachika. I don't have any level of confidence. I know the name, don't know. I don't even know if you're right about him playing for the Dodgers. That sounds familiar, but
I might
Yeah.
be wrong on the
uh
Dodgers, but I'm more confident actually
The
Hmm.
two names that come to my mind from the 80s are uh, the Henderson brothers, who weren't Ricky, Dave and Steve Henderson, who weren't actually brothers. They both played for both the Mariners and the A's. And
Hmm.
on your hierarchy of Hendersons, which we all have, written down somewhere, it goes
Obviously.
Ricky and then Dave, and then way down the list is Steve.
Hmm.
You got Harry and the in between. You know, I can't think of any other Hendersons, but I would guess that Steve Henderson would probably give us a pretty good score here too. Um,
Yeah.
and I'm sure about him. But if you're Mike, if you're sure about Hiram Boca Chica, that's probably a good score too. I just don't have any
Yeah.
idea.
If it helps, I'm not confident about either of them. So I mean,
Very helpful. No, thank you for
yeah,
clearing that up.
yeah,
Why are you
I
here, Josh?
yeah. I'm just like, like I said, I'm serving it up for you all. So I like to say my mediocrity helps everybody's rarity score. So I'm gonna leave it to you guys. Both of those, I think, if they fit, are gonna be really good scores.
how Jeff, how unpopular was Steve Henderson?
I you know I would guess Steve Henderson would be in the 1% range.
Yeah.
Um, but I also would guess if Hiram Boca Chica fits, he would be in that range too.
I think he does.
Yeah, let's go for it
Let's
then.
do
You
it.
want to
Let's do
do
it. Yeah.
Hiram Boca Chica?
Yeah.
There's more Hirams than I would have expected to be. 0.1%.
Nice.
Beautiful.
Okay.
And there
And in
is
the
in a
Give him a
Dodger hat.
gem.
Dodgers. Yeah,
So
there you
Oh
apparently,
yeah.
go.
Okay. And that's a
Nice.
triple play.
so
Okay, I
so when
finally
we're
got.
done, can we also open up like an incognito window and see what Steve Henderson would have scored for
Oh
us
yeah,
Oh
too?
this
yeah,
is what we
we'll
do
All
till
right.
definitely,
midnight.
yeah.
Yeah, of
Awesome.
course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be able to verify. Yeah.
Ugh.
Giants, Mariners.
Giants, Mariners.
So Sergio Romo fits here
Oh
again,
yeah. Yeah.
but I think that's more.
Yeah, I don't think we do Romo on a Giants category. That
No,
would be
I don't think we do Randy Johnson here either, but he does work here.
Robbie Ray, but I think you is
Yeah.
just kind of a recency bias. It's gonna be really high, I think. Um,
Dave Henderson fits here. I'm
hmm.
Oh well,
trying to remember.
now in retrospect, we could have done a Henderson row.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, missed opportunity. Armando Benitez, I think, fits here too.
Oh,
He definitely pitched for the
What?
Giants because we used him. Josh, do you remember we talked like it was the walk-off balk or something like that? We talked about
yes.
this might have been like grid one, two, three, like a
Two.
very early, yeah. Um, yeah, he works here.
Um, Going back to my 84 roots, the Mariners had a catcher named Bob Kearney, something, Kearney,
Yeah.
that I'm almost positive that he also played for the Giants. I can picture him in a Giants uniform.
Hmm.
I would guess he would get us a good score.
I
Uh,
I would agree because I don't
Yeah.
know who he is either. If you, how confident are we
that's what I'm
above
trying to decide.
86%?
I
Like,
don't. I think it's below 86,
mm,
but definitely not down at 8.6. I think I'm 73.9%.
Wow. And we don't
Or
round up, so that's rough. But
yeah.
you would have had me at 74, but now I'm also
Yeah, it's
wrong.
that 0.1%. That'll get you.
Oh,
yeah. It's an option. I mean, it's if
Yeah.
it hits, it's going to be a really good one. I mean,
Well,
we try to get
I guess,
catchers anytime we can, but
mm.
Mike, what was your confidence level on Hiram Boca Chica before you put him in?
true.
Uh, Probably higher than 73.9.
Okay.
Just because I think I might have used him on this box on this exact grid when this came out. I don't even remember, but yeah, I was more. I think there's a reason he popped into my mind, but there's a reason Kearney might have popped into your mind here. If you said you can picture him in a Giants jersey.
Yeah, but you'd be amazed at the things my dumb brain can picture that aren't true. Um,
Well, we also, who was it? We talked about Josh, do you remember when we had I think it was Mike Santos on? He was talking about a card. I forget which player, but
Oh
it was like,
yeah.
oh yeah, the card had him on the Angels, but he never actually played for the Angels.
This happens sometimes. Yeah.
Was it
Mike
Jeff Manto?
Mike Scioscia
Oh
played.
yeah.
Yeah, Mike Scioscia played his entire career with the Dodgers, and yet he has cards on the Padres and the Rangers,
That's
even though
wild.
because he went to spring training with both of those teams and but never made the team.
Mm. I say we
Um,
go with it. And
You gonna
honestly,
try?
I mean, the worst that happens is we biff and
and we cry
what?
and we don't sleep tonight, you know?
Yeah, and that's just the worst. So, I
Yeah,
mean, um,
All right, let's do that then.
let's go for it.
Bob,
Come on.
yeah,
Bob
Come
Kearney,
on.
point
nice. Yeah.
zero
Ah,
seven percent
73.9 comes through.
hidden gem.
Whoa.
Oh, and I love that old Mariners hat too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
I want to know
Okay.
how old he was in that picture. I
Oh
bet he was
yeah.
20, 23,
I
but
was
looks like
just
he's
gonna say, yeah. Yeah.
71.
Oh wow.
All
Okay.
right.
Last box,
All right.
Mariners, Nationals, or Mariners Expos.
Expos.
Again, Randy
Hmm.
Johnson fits here, right?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Yes, right. I'm not.
Yep.
Yes, Randy Johnson fits
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. He's probably the highest scoring one.
Yeah.
100%.
Mark Langston would fit too, who was traded for Randy Johnson
Oh,
between the two teams. Um,
Jesse Winker fits here.
that's right.
He, yeah, Jesse Winker does fit here.
yeah. Um,
I do like the idea of not having any current players on this grid, though, if we can kind of go further
yeah.
back.
It's true.
My
Langston is a
forte,
good shout. I think Adam, when we had Adam Dorowski on from Baseball Reference, he says he uses Langston's all the time. Um,
does Spike Owen work here?
Spike Owen would, yeah, he would
because
work
he
there.
did Expos.
Yeah, I actually
Yeah.
I
think we
think we've used
used
him Mariners
him.
before,
I think we might have used him for Mariners Nationals with Adam.
or
Really?
Mariners Red Sox maybe.
And maybe it might have been the Red
But
Sox. You're right.
he does fit. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yvonne Calderon would fit, right?
Oh,
Sure.
that's a name.
I'll take your word for it. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Hmm.
Interesting. Yeah, Yvonne Calderon's one of those that I'm like, oh yeah, everybody's gonna guess him, but then I realize, oh, I'm probably yeah, because he definitely fits.
Here's your
Uh,
84 again.
yeah, I'm
If
100% sure. I'm just worried he's gonna be like a 4%er or something, you know?
you think he's gonna be that high, again,
That
Hmm.
not gonna lie to you, never heard of him. And now I
Yeah,
feel like an absolute fraud. Like yeah.
we are.
Uh
Yeah.
as long as you feel like a fraud, that's all that
We've
really
been
oh,
told
is
in
that
the
the
comments
criteria?
before we are, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I can't vouch for what I think he'll score. I think he'd be just as good as Spike Owen, I think, but hard to say. Um, so it's really like Calderon, Langston, Spike Owen. Those three are what we're considering right now. Hmm.
yeah, Langston would be too high, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Uh Calderon or Spike Owen. They were teammates on the Mariners. May have been teammates on the Expos too.
I mean, Jeff, you are
Um,
the guest, so we are going to make you make the final call. So, I
okay.
mean,
I think Yvonne Calderon is more fun to say than Spike Owen, although Spike Owen's kind of fun to say.
we've also used
Uh,
Spike and we haven't used
That's
Yvonne
true.
Calderon.
all
So,
right. Well, there's your was Spike Owen's given name Spike?
Highly doubt it.
we'll add it to
That
the
add
lookup
that to our
list. I
list of
mean,
things to look
yeah,
up when we're
yeah,
done.
Yeah.
yeah.
I know his
Yeah.
brother was named Dave, so it's hard to picture parents naming one kid Spike and one kid Dave.
Yeah. All right, then let's
And
do
one
Yvonne.
Zanzibar Buck
Yvonne.
Buck McFate. Do you guys know your Dr. Seuss? Too Many
Yeah, I don't know
Daves.
that one. Yeah.
Too Many Daves is the greatest Dr. Seuss book ever. So,
Oh man.
all right, let's go
So
Yvonne Calderon. Let's do it.
Yvonne Calderon, let's do
Come
it.
on, don't be four.
point
0.4.
Zero
four.
point oh 0.4% hidden
Oh,
Wow.
gem and
okay.
total grid score of 5, which is rarefied air by our made up names.
That's pretty good.
This is a great grid.
Yeah.
No
We've
Yeah.
current
got
no current players on here.
That's the way
Uh
it should always be.
yeah. I need to go back and watch some
For
old.
for me, I'm like, ooh, Mark Gredzalonic didn't play in '84. He's way too recent. Same with Hiram Boca Chica. Those two guys, those are the newbies on this grid.
Yeah.
I think if you have Hiram Boca Chica and Mark Rezolonic as the most current players on your grid,
It's all
you're
right.
doing
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
We've got 8 hidden gems on this, so that's a really good
No, no, we don't.
grid.
No, we
What,
don't.
eight? One, two,
7. It's
three,
under
four,
1. So one,
five.
two, three, four, five,
Oh,
six,
that's
7.
right.
7 hidden
Okay.
gems.
So Mike
Seven
Davis and
hidden
Mark
gems.
Gredzalonic
Yeah.
ruin it for us.
Oh man.
At
Hey,
least we did them back to back though, and got those out of the way.
Yeah.
and we
Oh
kind of had to do
man.
Mark Gredzalonic once we had talked about him. So that was, yeah.
This was a blast. I wish I could have helped more, but I was cheering you guys on. On that note, I mean, if you want more of Jeff, obviously Locked On Dodgers, as we mentioned. Jeff, what's your Twitter handle? We'll drop that as well.
It's just Snidog, Snidog. It's just my last name with an og instead of an at the end.
Awesome. So Snydog on Twitter, Locked On Dodgers, and DodgerYard.com. Jeff is one of the people running this community for Dodgers fans to get together, for chat online, to it's like a social community. So definitely check out DodgerYard.com. Locked On Dodgers. Jeff, thanks so much for doing this. This is a blast.
This was fun. Yeah, happy to do it.
Yeah.
Awesome. And if you want to tell us who we could have done better,
Tell us why
or
we're idiots.
right.
Yeah.
Ordinary Effort on Instagram. Where are we now? Ordinary Effort we're now on Blue Sky, where there's an awesome baseball community. If you're watching, check out the podcast. If you're driving, you want to listen to us throwing names that we've never heard of before. And if you're listening, check this out on YouTube.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks for watching.